Today we're going to talk about an insanely sad case of victim shaming. Okay, so you have a girlfriend. Ugh, I just heard the story. You have a girlfriend who finds text messages between her boyfriend and his daughter. Now, I got to go back and listen to the story again, but it's on YouTube, and basically the daughter is so basically the daughter is I'm not sure if it's actually his daughter. I don't know. My question was, did they have a DNA test? All right. Well, anyway, so this young girl, she was 16 years old, and basically what happened is that she was raised by a man that wasn't her father. He thought that she was his daughter for 16 years. And then he found out that it wasn't his daughter, that's terrible enough. This young girl finds out that this man who's been raising me since I was a baby is not my father. He finds out this young lady that I've been raising since I met her mom, I thought it was my girl, and she's not my girl. She's not my daughter. So that's heartbreaking right there. That's insanely tragic. And we hear a lot about that, unfortunately, these days. Okay, so that's enough. Okay, so the man who her mother thinks is the real father, or maybe she knew, I don't know. You know how that works. We've seen more before, right? They send, well, the man who raised her, who still calls her his daughter, because he seems like a put together guy, a good man, all right? He seems like a good man, all right? The good guy, what he does is he says, I just steps back because I'm like, well, I got other kids to take care of, right? You know what I'm saying? This is not my daughter. I'm gonna step back, you know? Now, I don't know how, I don't know what I would do in that situation, because I've thought about it before, because I heard about this, a lot recently. So I thought about it. I don't know what I would do, Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that this man steps back, and the mother, who has questionable morals, basically, it seems like she knew all this long that this man wasn't a real father, but she let this man raise a child that wasn't his, and she did not tell him that, hey, this kid is not yours. Okay. She allows the 16-year-old daughter to go and stay with this man who went to jail for offending. You know what I'm talking about? He went to jail for that, okay? And when he was 29, now he's 39 years old. At the time that the daughter at 16 goes to stay with him and his girlfriend, okay? So the girlfriend finds messages, or she finds out, somehow. Of course, they all live in the same house. She has a 15-year-old daughter. And so it sounds like a great situation, except for the offending part, right? That sounds terrible, okay? So the girlfriend of the offender basically has a 15-year-old daughter. So, okay, okay, so she's meeting her real father. It sounds like a great deal. But the problem is that the girlfriend of the offender, let's just call him Max. The girlfriend of Max figures out, hey, you are, playing games, checkers, with your daughter. You're not supposed to play checkers with your daughter, right? So basically, then there's some text messages that are, that she shares with the world on social media. And it's just so, my stomach just churned. My stomach was I was and Then the guy who is reporting on this, he does a great job. He does a great job with this story. And so he shares a video of the father, and the father, again, he seems like a really put together guy. Let's call the father Rick. Okay, so Rick gets on social media to stand up for his daughter, the one that he raised from 16 years old. And he tells how this young girl was so heartbroken about everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? Basically, this Max groomed her. You know, she's already got a lot of things going on. You see what I'm saying? And she's a young girl, right? So if that's not bad enough, what happened to her? The situation that she was put in. She's a child. Okay. She was put in a very bad situation. And then women online were, you know, putting her down and all this other kind. He said it was terrible. It was just terrible. The woman, instead of coming to her rescue, okay, you know, giving her a hug, giving her a virtual hug, right? I wish I could find, you know, instead of the woman saying, hey, you know, I wish I could find this young lady and, you know, mentor her or something like that. No, they tearing her down. And I knew it when I heard it. The father says, and I know some of these women, and they got some really crazy stuff going on, you know, so how could you do that online, on social media, to a young girl who got put in a very bad situation, and you not getting on the man for doing what he did, but you getting on a young girl, she just 20 years old now, okay? And he says that she was a V, you know, before she left the house, okay? When he raised her for 16 years, she was a V, and her mother sends her off to Max, who's supposedly the biological father. Again, I want to know, did they even do a DNA test? I mean, either way is a terrible story, is an insanely tragic and sad story. But I think one of the worst parts of the story is that, you know, whether or not it was his daughter or not, you know, it's still, I mean, insanely tragic, okay? But one of the worst parts is the victim shaming, you know, and that's something that I know about, you know. I know about the victim shaming part, and that's just terrible, you know. In my situation, in my personal life, I've been the victim, and it's terrible when the person who's put in a very tough situation, you're put in a very tough situation, and people want to shame you for being a victim, you know, instead of getting on the person who is the actual offender, you know. And so I really felt for this young girl, you know. I really felt for her. Yeah. Very, very sad story. And it's just a sign of the times that we are in the last days, you know, before the return of Jesus. That things like this are occurring, and social media really shows you what we did not know is being revealed through social media, you know. How people really feel, what people really think, you know. And in such a tragic situation like this, you know, to shame that young girl is really wrong. And the other thing that I really want to share is that bad men make the good man look bad, and bad women make the good woman look bad. Okay, so there's a lot of good men out here, like that Rick, the man who raised that young girl from a baby to 16 years old, and you know, as he put it, he stood on all 10 toes. You see what I'm saying? He stood on being a man and taking care of his business. And even when he found out that the young girl wasn't his daughter, even though he stepped back, you see what I'm saying? He came back into situation when he knew that she needed him, okay? So he got on social media to make a post to explain the situation to everybody because so many women got on this young girl, okay? So basically, you know, he's a good man. From everything that I can tell, he's a very good man. And the bad men make the good men look bad. And the bad woman make the good woman look bad, you know? But as I said yesterday, before I heard the story, I said yesterday on social media, I said I was posting a story, another story on social media, and I was like, you know what? Men need to get on other men, okay? We need to hold men accountable. And women need to get on other women and hold them accountable. It doesn't have to be condemning. It can be in love, right? But we need to hold each other accountable, you know? If men are doing bad things, men need to hold them accountable, you know? Whether it's in a general sense or if it's a personal, you know, if a man has another brother that's in his life, you know, family member, church member, whatever it is, we need to hold each other accountable in love. Same thing with women. They need to hold each other accountable in love. And so I had a conversation with my father the other day, and I was basically talking about the same thing. And I was very upset at my father because the women in our family will not hold my wife accountable, okay? So I don't expect the men in my family to hold my wife accountable. I expect the men in my family to support me as a man. You get it? And so this man on social media, Rick, who raised this young girl from 16 years old, to a young lady at 16 years old, he was upset because he's like, as a man, I can't comfort this young girl from going through that abuse, right? I can't comfort her as a man because I'm a man. But the women need to come along and comfort this young girl. Maybe you've been through that before or something like that. You see what I'm saying? And so it's very, very important for men to hold other men accountable in love. It's very, very important for women to hold other women accountable in love. And actually, it's in the Bible, okay? The Apostle Paul talks about, you know, that the older woman should mentor the younger woman, right? And that's what I brought up to my father the other night, you know, in a very tense conversation with my father, unfortunately. And so that's something that I'm very upset about, that I'm being victim shamed, right? I'm being victim shamed because, and I'm doing my best. I felt so much with his brother, Rick, because he was like, you know, I'm having problems with my marriage and, you know, I'm trying my best. Man, I don't recorded some things over the past couple of days that was same thing he said. Same thing this man said. Good man, right? I said in recordings over the past couple of days, I'm trying my best. What else can I do? What else can I do, right? Okay? You can't stop somebody else from being dumb. And, you know, that's what he said. And it's like, dude, like, man, bro, I see you, man, you know? So as a man, you can only do but so much, okay? I can't hold my wife accountable. I can't do that because guess what? She won't allow me to hold her accountable, right? Okay? So the women in our family and in our churches and things of that nature, they need to woman up. They need to woman up, just like the Apostle Paul said. Teach the younger women how to be what? Wives, okay? So we have a responsibility. Men don't want women telling them what to do. So guess what? You need to listen to other men. You need to listen to somebody. If you're a man and you're going off the handle and you're just doing whatever, and a woman comes up to you and be like, yo, you need to get yourself together, and you don't like it because a woman came up to you and told you that, well, you need to be held accountable by somebody, right? So other men need to hold you accountable. Maybe you can take it better if another man that you respect comes up to you and be like, hey bro, you know what I'm saying? You got to get yourself together, man, you know? Let me help you. Now, that's the key point. Let me help you, right? Women, Oh, so you don't want a man telling you that you need to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, fine. Okay. Well, you need to listen to other women saying, hey, you need to get yourself together. Okay. Right. You know, and so we need to hold each other accountable for the betterment of our society and for the betterment of our families, for the betterment of the church. And I don't see that, you know? And so this very tragic, insanely tragic story, because, you know, I was listening to it on my way back home, and you know, I just started crying, man. I just started crying, you know, because like that touched me so much, in so many places, you know. And so yeah, so what do you think about this? Have you ever experienced victim shaming? You know, do we need to hold each other accountable more as men and as women? What do you think? Be blessed.